Yo!
Yayo Talk Show!
Dreamin'!
Don't give it up, Molly.
Dreamin'!
Don't give it up, Marco.
Dreamin'!
Don't give it up, Kaden.
Dreamin'!
Al's name didn't fit. They talk about the show, this group of four friends been going for 1,000,000 years, there's no end. Watching every arc and saga, no sleep. It's the king of anime, 1,000 episodes deep.
Yayo! 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 Talk Show!
Talking about One Piece.
It's the name of the podcast.
We're not on Vine. Yayo Talk Show. Talking about
One Piece.
Are you gonna turn the podcast around?
I might. Yo, there's still time to start with the game show. That's all I'm saying.
Molly will get
What's up,
sad.
Wedges, Privateers, and non-binary Buccaneers? Welcome aboard the most chaotic One Piece podcast on the Grand
He's buffering.
Line Internet. We're getting the whole cake, asterisk. We'll come back to that. But first, let's introduce the crew. First and foremost, the captain of the crew, No Pirates, Molly D. Simpy.
Happy New Year. Welcome back. Hello. I don't like how he said whole.
Molly had the bookmark up. It's very important.
Nothing but the truth.
Oh, man. Especially because I was like prepping to do a voice for this next one. That totally threw me. Jesus.
I'm
No,
sorry.
go ahead. Do the voice. Do the
Easy
voice.
peasy.
Really, I'm ready for it.
Introducing Lord High Lady Ladington of Girl Manor, wild theorist Kaden Jensen.
It's almost March. Why did you say Happy New Year, Molly?
Oh, well, we haven't the episode since after the holidays. Also,
Molly,
you got
it's
a
been
girl
your
man.
birthday.
Molly, we
but-
had your birthday party.
I'm aware, but we haven't posted an episode in a couple of months.
Time travels a little differently on the farm.
How come Caden gets a girl manor? Can I visit
Stardew Valley?
sometimes?
You can.
She
you
asked.
can have. Yeah, I did. I put in the requisite forms
Yeah.
and all
Literally
that.
months ago. This has
was
been
literally-
on my sheet for months.
Oh
It's
my
been
God.
It's a whole thing.
It's a whole cake.
Thank
Look-
you.
All right.
Oh.
I got you. I got you first.
Bookmarking
You
that one
thought.
for later.
And of course, somebody who might be a member of the Charlotte family because there's too many of them. The Laughborg, Al McClellan.
It's me. God,
Are you in Big Mom's family?
No, I'm pretty sure no. Maybe. I mean, I don't know.
Jury's still out on that one, I guess.
You've heard of Big
I
Mama.
skipped
now
that
get
day
ready
in grade
for-
school where we're supposed to do the family tree thing. So
Mm.
Uh-huh.
But in my class, the tree talks to you, and someone called it a homie, and it was very confusing. I'm the internet's gentleman, Mark B. Donica. The B stands for bois, because, oh my
Homie.
God.
The B stands
It's-
for homie.
The B stands for homie.
This is for Bomi.
um,
Wait a minute.
Wait.
So, as you can tell,
bro.
we are operating on
Bro.
100% efficacy. This is
I-
going to be a fun one, everybody.
I don't know about
Before we
words.
get started in the show, as you can see in the title and in any sort of social media post that we've made about this particular episode, we are starting the Whole Cake Island arc. If you have not caught up with the Whole Cake Island arc, tune out because we probably will as well.
How'd you get here?
This
What?
is
Hello?
this arc is very dense, and this is one of the ones that we've kind of been fearing, like Dressrosa, though that seemed to be pretty painless. So we just wanted to say at the jump, we have certain points in the story that we might stop at and like break episodes off and move on. We're going to, if we don't talk about something in this episode, that doesn't necessarily mean that we're not going to talk about it. But if we blow past the story thing and you want us to go through it a little bit more, leave us a comment on the episode, find us on social media. But just so everybody knows, we are going to go at a pace that is applicable to us and like get like starting back up on this podcasting train for the year of our Lord 2023. So be patient. We love you. Dear God.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll come back for a second blow on some of these things.
A second.
Whole blow. Wait.
Second. We're
don't
gonna
like that.
we're gonna whole blow our way
We're-
through this.
Dude, I
What?
don't like that.
I don't. Where does I miss that chapter? Where does the blowing happen?
Where
Was
does
that
the
an
hole
anime
come
thing?
from?
Was that an
The
anime?
cake. Yeah, was that it? Was that?
Is that part of it? Was
It
that
was
important?
filler. The blowing was filler.
This is going to be
Kate-
really. By the way,
Oh,
this is going to be for anybody in the future listening to this. We're recording this on the 20th of February.
Why do you
It's
want to date us
especially-
like that?
It's especially funny for me for what was just said for several different reasons, and nobody else in the crew knows why, and they probably won't for a while. Anyway, just a tiny little whole joke for everybody out there.
What do you
Moving along.
mean? A whole joke?
But if we won't get it now, isn't it a partial joke?
You'll understand later. It's a partial whole joke.
It will be a whole joke later. Hey, Caden, what chapter are you on?
Well, I would like to say that I'm on 865. I don't think we're going to get to. Yeah, I have not read 865 just yet.
So but that doesn't necessarily mean we're going to hit that chapter. That's just where you are.
Correct.
Yeah.
I didn't quit it.
Wow.
Sorry.
Hit that whole cake and quit that cake.
Partial whole.
Have your
Come
cake
on.
and quit it
Stick
too.
to the bit.
So I think we should start. Let's try to cast a wide net, and I would just like to know what everybody's like biggest takeaway, main takeaway, favorite thing was from this first section of Whole Cake Island. I want to start with Al on this one.
There are so many goddamn Charlotte kids.
Oh, you're right.
There are 85 children.
There are some animes where they don't have 85 characters.
Yeah, this is just one family in one arc of one manga. Like why
Of One Piece, yes.
why did he
Her
didn't have to go that hard?
her children are the name of the treasure at the Grand Line. 85
Reading-
piece.
This arc, the first thing that popped into my head when I reread that part was a quote from The Incredibles, and the guy says, "And got busy."
Oh no.
That's hilarious.
Thank you. Can you tell we're rusty? Can you tell
Thank
we
you.
haven't done this in a while?
Also, I got a notification from our Discord and just clicked on a manga panel of Luffy saying that guy's a freak, and that also kind of stopped me in my tracks. But Al, was just the sheer volume of Charlotte children
I'm gonna
something?
I'm going to read you a bullet pointed list.
Please.
22 single births, 11 pairs of twins,
Damn.
6 sets of triplets, 2 sets of quadruplets, 1 set of quintuplets, 1 set of decouplets. That's 10,
What?
10 children in one birth.
Oh,
That's a litter.
I heard it. I heard what you said.
That's a litter. That's
You
like,
heard
they're
of
like
Octomom. Now get ready for
Decuplo mom.
I mean,
48 Mom.
it's my least favorite Digimon, but I mean,
Did
her
you just
earning.
Charlotte
Digimon?
Epidural Linlin.
No. After the first set of triplets, she's like, "Nah, that's just birthing him."
God.
She's the
God.
whole cake. Anyway,
If anybody deserves the title of Big Mom, it's Charlotte Linlin. I think
she's big and a mom.
she's
Like,
big and mom,
She's
and
as advertised.
She says scoreboard every time.
the most mom.
Another child. Scoreboard!
Oh my God.
Eh.
Like Guinness Book of World Records in fucking One Piece.
But I think
Talk about bedpost notches. Damn.
It's so weird though. Okay, like I'm just gonna fucking step in real quick, Al. The juxtaposition, the spectrum here is that at one end is Whitebeard, who has adopted kids. That's his whole fleet. And the other end, it's like Oyaji, like Pops on one end, and then Big Mom on the other end, who was like, nah, I'll do it myself. As birth, and then also like claimed all of her children's spouses to be part of her family.
I mean, that's technically how that works.
I mean, yeah, but also
But could you imagine if a Whitebeard Big Mom alliance happened and all of a
No.
sudden all of Whitebeard's children were also Charlotte children? Charlotte Marco.
No.
No, I wouldn't have allowed this. I would not have allowed this at all. I would not. I would have shown up at Oda's door. I would have been like,
Marco would
no.
have to get some kind of pineapple dessert.
Sorry.
No. Well, that'd be
Upside
kinda
down,
cute, though.
Marco. Yeah, there you go.
That'd be kind of cute though.
Now Molly's into it. Now
No,
Molly's
I
just
would
like,
not. No, I was thinking about like a Japanese cafe that's just Marco.
Just pineapples.
Yeah.
So Al, I guess I have to ask again. Is it just that there's a lot of them?
Yeah. There's so many.
The audacity of the amount of Charlotte
Well,
siblings.
I'm gonna do some math.
Uh-oh.
What's 9 times 85?
you don't want to know that.
What?
Over 400.
Is that true? Is that real?
Okay, and then divide that by 12.
No.
What was it 9 times 48?
That's 63
85.
years.
85.
I mean, it's complicating it, but because of the decuplets and the quintuplets and the quadruplets. But
63 or 64 average up.
that's
I
a
had to
lot.
calc-
60,
yeah, well-
64 years of births,
Oof.
or just being pregnant for 64 years.
Dude, she's having those jaundice births like after 35. Like you're at higher risk. They call it like I was just talking to a friend about this. It's like they call it like the jaundice birth or something like
We
that.
started. We're light subjects here on the Yayo Talk Show.
I'm
this-
applying what I learned, and now
This
you guys
pirate
know it
show.
too.
Thank you. We've all learned something. I don't think this will be the only thing that we learned today.
I'm surprised Al didn't
other
talk
than the
about-
sheer volume of people, Al, were there moments? Was there a particular Charlotte that we met was of interest to you?
Paraspero is a crime against humanity.
Disgusting.
The worst.
Probably my
Disgusting.
favorite.
Disgusting.
Katakuri's very cool. Oven is terrible. My least favorite, though, of all of them is probably Cracker.
I don't like how you. I know what's his name, but
It's probably the white kid.
you need to say it with like
have to
a
be more
capital
specific.
C, Al. You can't just say Cracker. You have to say it with like it's Cracker. Like
You have to say it like the
like it's a name.
Smash Brothers announcer, Cracker.
Oh my God.
Game.
But it's also
Okay.
like I know the fight with Cracker was like a fair amount, and we got to see Luffy do something really cool. I couldn't tell you which Charlotte sibling Cracker was.
He's
Like I don't. You have to show me a picture, and I'll be like, oh, that's who that is, and I'm gonna
I-
Google it.
Vaguely remember what he looks like because isn't it like
He's
his
got thick
armor?
knees.
He looks giant,
doesn't
but
help.
it's like his armor is just a Cracker, and like there's a point where he's like skinny
Uh-huh.
version of himself, I think, and that's the only reason why I can
He's
think
like
of him.
he's the biscuit dude.
The
thing
minister
I remember about
of
him-
biscuits.
There it is.
He's quick.
Yes, the Minister of Biscuits. He has firecracker hair, is how I remember him.
Okay.
He's
Oh, that's right. That's so stupid.
he is yeah. But it's like
Listen, I feel like Oda looked at this and was just like, all right, I'm going to challenge myself. I'm going to come up with so many characters. I'm going to make more characters in this one arc than most anime have in their entire series. And I'm going to come up with some really rockin' hair designs and rockin' character designs. And like 30 characters in, it's like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know.
I'm gonna put more ping pong balls on their knees.
This one looks like it has teeth. Anyway, next one.
So crazy though, because it's like, bro, take a break, like, because he had just come from like Dressrosa, and those were all new people, and then
Yeah.
like a
And then
little
he
bit
came
of
up
like,
with 100,000 more new people,
and then
and some of them are big winners and bangers, and some of them are
Oof.
cracker.
Oh God, I am not looking forward to when we do Smash or Pass on for
Oh,
Whole Cake.
no.
Oh my, we're gonna have to split that into multiple parts.
Oh no.
You will. I'll just be
Yes,
there.
I
for it.
will, because I make the graphics.
It's true. It checks out. Al, I can't believe you didn't talk about the fun character designs of Big Mom's powers.
Of her.
We just started.
I know, but also you asked Al, and I thought that's what Al would talk about.
About the homies?
Yeah, like the silly
Anybody got some
trees.
quarters?
Oh my god.
Well, no, because it was more. That's funny. I get it. It took me a second.
There you go.
I was taken back to a Taco Bell in the Valley in California where I had a choice between homies and Pokemon stickers, and I chose Pokemon stickers.
Yep.
Wow.
You want to
I
talk
love
about
how
Mighty Beans now
Mark-
too?
I did not expect to go there.
Mark was too worked up to defend Al and was like, "Wait a minute, what the fuck did you just say?"
I threw Mark back through time for a minute.
You
that's
absolutely
one-
did.
That's one
Molly, that's
F-bomb
one,
for
by the
you,
way.
Mark. Yeah, that's one for you, Mark. Make a note.
What do you mean that's one? One what?
F-bomb.
That's
F-bomb.
the third one.
What do you mean?
Oh.
That's
What
the
do you
third
mean?
one.
Ooh.
You did 2 back to back at 9 minutes and 30 seconds and 9 minutes and 40 seconds.
Wow, I'm so like jaded from Molly F bombs that I can't. I registered
I
that
have
as the
to be
first one.
on top guard. Like
Man,
I have to be
somebody's
paying
gotta-
attention because I've let a couple through before. I can't do that again.
Uh-oh.
Hey, Molly,
Yeah.
F bombs aside, what were a couple of your favorite takeaways from Whole Cake, from this first part of Whole Cake?
Sure. It's crazy to see somebody. So now we're like getting into meeting the 4 emperors, right? Like we've already known
Yes.
Whitebeard for a while. Like now we're finally getting we knew Shanks, right? Like we knew of Shanks and we knew Shanks, but like now we're getting kind of context for like what the other horrors have in this part of the ocean, and it's like seeing Big Mom and seeing the operation that she's running, like that they have like snails that like like detect motion, and like there's certain like security routes, like you can't just sneak
The
up on
undersea
it.
snails.
Yeah, and they're not just like a fleet. I mean, I think they all are ships, but they're like it's like the fleets are all islands too. Like people like live on those islands, and all those islands have different aesthetics. Is so cool. Like the chocolate island, and
Well, they're all there to like sate whatever craving she has. It's just all dessert stuff.
Yeah, it's just like I don't know. It's like what I took away, at least from this first part, was like again, it's like Oda went off on like I don't know if they're all winners, but like he went off on like a lot of new characters and new.
Like
designs.
I said, there's a couple bangers in here, and then there's Cracker.
And we've done so many other aesthetics and genres already, like Thriller Bark. It's like we've done those. We've done like horror, we've done other things, and like this is kind of the fun, kind of like Japanese take on Western fantasy. Like it's almost like it's like Alice in Wonderland meets like Aesop's Fables meets
Hansel and Gretel.
yeah, like a lot of the German fairy tales, plus like still pirate motif, and then Oda's just crazy character designs. Like it's a lot like the I don't think he's a kid. I think he's just part of the crew, but the rabbit guy, the rabbit jouster guy, I'm like, he's cool.
There's so many characters I can't
know.
even begin
I'm
to
Molly,
like-
like.
you
trying to figure out how to
gestured
Google
to
it.
all of them.
I know. I just hang on, I'll find him.
Well, because I mean, it's also difficult because like,
Randolph, I think. Randolph. He's cool. I would
That's
not. A gun to
amazing.
my head. I would not have been able to tell you. the
adding
name of this
Randolph to
guy.
the next game show. Moving on, but like there have been a lot of rabbits, and it's weird to think that
Yeah.
we've had Gonbei on Water 7 that is
Mhm.
just a rabbit. We have Carrot, who is a rabbit Zoan, not a Zoan, but a Zoan, Zoite. And now we have Randolph, that is a homie rabbit member of the Big Mom Pirates. Like
Real bro.
there, there's so dude, this dude's a homie.
Yeah.
Like I think one of the main it both, to me, it both works and doesn't work of the sheer amount of characters that are introduced. How and because Oda always tends to like circle back with a fair amount of cast, you have an expectation to remember, and like, oh, Charlotte Oven is gonna come back in two arcs or whatever, so we have to pay attention to see what they can do. Like, so I feel like it does a disservice of just the sheer amount of throwing people at you, and I guess you could tell with how detailed the designs are how much we're gonna see them.
Yeah.
But also, you talked about Whitebeard earlier, comparing Whitebeard's family, Luffy's family, to Charlotte's family, and also Sanji's family. Like this, this whole arc is about family.
Can I ask you a very important question, Mark, before we get too far away from it?
Sure, but I also you're next on the biggest
okay,
takeaway.
Cool. Let me hit you first. Let me hit you first with this, because we're talking about oven, right? Why do they call it oven when you in the cold?
Damn it! No, stop it! No.
Okay, cool.
Can someone make a One Piece version of that frame? Who would John be?
It would be Shanks and Luffy.
God,
because it would be Shanks making food for Luffy and doing dad jokes to Luffy, and Luffy's just like, "Where's the lasagna?"
But then
more lasagna, please.
But then, can the oven just have the coloring of Charlotte Oven?
Yes.
I was gonna say, it's like the oven has to be a homie.
Oh, jeez. I'm gonna actually, looking at the frame, the way that they made the oven, it looks like it has two eyes and a mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you just put that oven hair beard combo around it.
Yeah, there you go.
God.
Coming soon to the IO Talk Show shop, which you should go visit because we've added new stuff that I will not contractually mention. But Caden, it's real. Caden, what was your biggest takeaway from this first section?
The first thought I had going into this section is, Sanji.
Yeah.
And the other part is, I was right. Thank you once again. Yeah.
Caden, you're gonna have to be more specific.
Sanji's family sucks.
Yeah.
And a lot of like
asterisk.
Most of Sanji, even so, like there's some predominantly caca.
The men in Sanji's family are garbage.
Yeah,
it's true.
Mm-hmm.
Like
the jury's still out on Reiju.
The beatings will continue until morale improves. Is their family motto?
Is Vince Smoke judge?
They're hashtag cancel until further notice.
Here's the thing that like here's the thing that really made me upset. Okay, something that I totally didn't catch, and I should have caught way earlier. Mm-hmm. His name is Sanji.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
So good. So good.
And I'm like,
that was one of those things
crap.
when Reiju and Yanji showed up, I was like, Oda, you son of a bitch.
It really was.
How many siblings do we got?
It's like, oh, look, Reiju, and then Ichiji, Niji, Yonji. It's like, I'm so mad. I'm so mad. I'm like, okay. I read it and I'm just like, I'm gonna put my tablet down and I'm gonna wander away for a minute. I'm gonna scream internally for a second.
Yell about numbers for.
Well,
I'm glad that's what she was mad about, and I'm glad that we waited a couple months because. I can't. Also, I mean, it's hard to pull anything past Gaiden, but I'm glad that she hasn't yelled us about. I'm right about Sanji meeting Sanji's family.
But I wanted to ask, like, we meet Reiju and Yonji first. Caden, did that set up any sort of expectations for you for the rest of the Vinsmoke family? Because like Reiju seems chill, and Yanji seems like another Sanji, but with green hair.
The moment I saw them, I'm like, vibes rancid. Yep. So I was very much just like, I'm so excited to never meet these people ever again. And then it's like, and then I'm just like, wait, his name is Sanji, and I'm like, oh crap, there's a lot of them. And so like when we got to like actually meet the family, and like I guess that's probably my biggest takeaway is that like maybe I have a little bit more understanding of Sanji and why he is the way he is and does some things the way he does. And he is definitely the lesser of most evils in the Vinsmoke family. Still rancid vibes and needs
Yep.
to be needs those vibes corrected. But arguably came out a pretty well-adjusted piece of shit in comparison to the rest
given
of
the circumstances.
given the circumstances, still atrociously misogynistic in a lot of ways,
I mean,
and
if
really
you, like,
icky in the way that he treats some people.
yes.
But arguably, if you're just like, all right, you have to pick, like, you can't pick her, you have to pick one of the dudes from the Vinsmoke family to have as like a teammate and something like, yeah, I pick Sanji. Like, it's not even kind of
given how what we learned about Reiju and the fact that Judge was like, I'll give Charlotte my worst son, and then you see the other three and you're like,
that's the worst one.
Pudding's kind of getting a deal here.
I
Crazy.
actually really like the way he treats Pudding. Like, that's a big boon for me, for Sanji,
Yeah.
is that whole, like, in the first part of this, just being
Jake?
very like, hey, I'm gonna be very upfront with this and let's communicate this stuff. It's like, oh wow, look at you learned.
It's like when you remember way back when we first met Sanji and like the first flashback with him and Zeph, like he was like a little piece of shit. Like, you know what I mean? It's like the reason
He
why
was a
he's even
garbage
moderately
child.
the reason why he's even moderately better, like a little bit better than what he could be, or
It's
like
Zeph.
the worst of him, it's Zeph. He traded his dad up. He got a better dad.
And he even says that in
I
the
am
show.
father now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 The
Yeah. Okay.
no, you're like absolutely correct, and I absolutely agree with you. Alan, Molly, in rereading this or going back, what was it like re-experiencing the first meeting of Reiju and Yonji?
Go ahead, Al.
Just the hair. Oh, the hair's always a choice. It makes sense. Like, looking at Sanji's hair and his eyebrows and just the themes that are tied across them. But good God.
They look like the Gym 1 of Gen 5 of Pokemon.
Yeah.
These three show
Yeah.
up and it's just like, oh good.
Different
It's-
element types.
They're back. It's like, you're the grass. You have a grass type. You have a water
They're-
type. You have a fire type. And then here's Sanji coming in with Pikachu. And it's
But they're like an evil Sentai team.
Yeah.
They really are.
Yep.
There's some
But-
really obvious nods to these people just being the worst kinds of people. Like, Sanji's dad is very obviously a monster. Like, I don't think anybody's like,
no.
surprise, he's terrible. But Vinsmoke Judge might be my least favorite person kind of ever in
Mhm.
this entire series, which is saying a lot, honestly.
Mhm.
Like,
Hmm.
what a it's not a look at that was like, look at this freak affectionate. It's look at this freak. And then it's just like,
Derogatory.
it's just
Yeah.
like throw a rock at him.
It was very like, this is a fantasy realm. I don't want to fucking like, why are they gotta be bad dads here? This guy fucking sucks.
That's okay. So what the One Piece really is a truly affectionate and caring father inside of a chest is what it is.
That's why it was like Whitebeard saying like One Piece is real. It's because he was the One Piece. They didn't appreciate him when they had
the
him.
One Piece is real. Yeah, that's exactly what the memes were about, Molly.
For the
Don't
next-
Google that.
The next
Slip
10
of paper
seconds
that
of the
says
One Piece was
parental
real.
guidance.
Oh my god. My thing rereading this arc, now that like I've been rereading it in line with Kaden and like for the purpose of the show, my first thought was seeing Reiju again and being like, yeah, Kaden's gonna love her. Like it's gonna be one of those
Oh,
like yeah,
no
Kaden's gonna love her.
question.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Charlotte's great.
Yeah,
I like
fucking knew it.
I like Charlotte a lot. Not I should say I like Charlotte Pudding a lot. I like Charlotte
Gotcha.
Pudding a lot.
Sounds like you're gonna have to be much
We have a
more
long
I like
list
Charlotte a
of
lot.
Charlottes.
Guess which ones? Guess which ones? There's
No,
like 1,000 of them.
Before we started recording, Kaden was like, guess who I like? And Al and I named off like 6 people. And
Yeah.
she went, yeah, that one, yeah, that one, yeah, that one, yeah, that one. But that's not who I'm talking about.
Yeah, that was really.
Spoilies, it's Smoothie.
It's
Silly.
Smoothie.
Is anyone surprised?
Well, listen.
Respectfully.
Respectfully, yeah, Charlotte Smoothie. What can I tell you? White hair, blue
I thought you were
eyes,
gonna say, what do you
giant
want from me?
big giant sword, flower motif. Yeah, no, she's an entire vibe. She's like the whole thing. But then again, I also really do like Praline. Praline's design is like immaculate to me.
Wait, hold on.
Immaculate design.
Sorry, I looked at Charlotte's wiki page. She is the oldest of a triplet sister, and it just reminded me of
Which Charlotte?
fair enough. Smoothie.
Thank you.
Smoothie. And looking at her sisters Citrone and Cinnamon,
Uh-huh.
all three of their designs are very reminiscent of the Gorgon sisters.
Yes.
And while that's a fun nod, also like, come on.
The thing is like, guess
come on.
what? I liked all three of them too.
Fair enough. Like-
I am a very, it's like, they're fun. They're very like, dude had to come up with 100 million characters for this arc, and they're
By
all
his
named
own
Charlotte.
volition.
He chose to. He took on a
chose-
challenge, and it
He
was too
chose
much
this
for him.
path.
He
Mark,
chose
I'm-
to do this. He chose to do this a while ago, and he's like, "This is a problem for future Oda." And then future Oda got to this point, and he's like, "Crap."
See, I'm not gonna talk crap about the designs because, Mark, it could have been so much more worse. It could have just been 30 Namis. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. No, absolutely.
He's recycling some designs, but at least he's going out of his way to like not do like the pristine quote unquote woman.
Yeah, there's a lot of really cool.
I think we all
nods
blacked
to,
out
like,
for a second.
what? Hello? Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. What are we doing?
Man, I don't know.
But no, yeah. Charlotte Smoothie rules. Just cool. High as hell bounty. That's like almost 1 billion berries. That's a lot of berries.
Billion berry.
Billion. So, but speaking of the Charlotte family, that's not a good segue. I wanted to talk about.
Oh wait, before I continue, shout out to Dawn Bennett for voicing Charlotte Smoothie in
Oh, absolutely.
in the One Piece dub. So anyway, surprising absolutely nobody, Dawn's performances in anime and original like animation and games. Dawn's amazing. Dawn's fantastic. All respect to Dawn and everything that she does. She's great.
Hell
Good
yeah.
person, good voice, good everything. Continue to voice amazing characters. Mark, you were talking about other things?
I was talking about other Charlottes. I wanted you brought up Pudding. I wanted to know what everybody's first impressions of Charlotte Pudding was.
She cute. Like I'll say it. I'll be brave and say it.
I'll be very simple with it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I'm just like, yeah, she's cute. I want to know more about her. And then we got some really great characterization from her. She's a really fun character. And all
Cottage
things
core.
considered, I think her and
core.
Sanji kind of like vibe.
So,
Yeah.
like going off
Which
of
is
that,
weird.
do you think that in One Piece nothing is ever for certain, but do you think that there is a world where
Might be 3 certain though.
boo or 10
Oh
10
my
certain?
God.
Do you
Speaking of
think-
Sanji.
Do you think there's a world where Pudding and Sanji settle down and have a nice life?
I
mean,
think that could possibly be a thing.
honestly, she's the first person he's ever successfully wooed, like without.
No, it wasn't even that. It's like it didn't even get to that point before they like actually like do any of that stuff.
Mhm.
Like they're having normal conversations, and he's being very upfront with her with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's not
he
even
treats
like
her like a person. Like that's the first time, I think.
And I think because they're both in that situation of being quote pressured by family to do this, I think that takes away hopefully, and I think it takes away Sanji's thing of, oh, I have to be someone else.
I think with the reason why they're at this next step, right? It's like where he's like having conversations with her, they're having real conversation. It's like because up until Pudding, like Sanji has always been in the stage of trying to get the date, like being obnoxious and hitting on people and like doing his best to get attention, whereas like they are set to be married, and he's like, I don't have to
they
like
skip the dating phase.
yeah, like I don't have to like try to like get your number phase, you know what I mean? Like the flirting, like at the bar phase. Like now they're like, oh, this is real. And I'm like, I just gotta tell you like how, you know, like communicating, like telling you like what I'm expecting out of this and why. And we're both kind of in a situation where, you know, like I'm sure you would have preferred to have picked your spouse, and I have a shitty family who's hostaging my my true father, and like
And he's actually opening up in all these different ways. And from
Yeah.
Pudding's end, she's like, I'm gonna fuck you up so bad.
so bad. Oh, so bad. I'm a bad girl.
I'm a
so
bad girl. I'm
I
gonna make it bad.
it's weird. Like if before this arc, if you had asked me who Oda could come up with who deserves Sanji, I don't know if I could ever think of somebody, but it's like kind of annoying in how perfect they deserve each other. Like for different reasons, and not in like a mean way, like they deserve each other. It's like, no, I think they could make each other better. Like I think
Yeah.
Sanji would stop being a huge, or at least like a little less of like the cringe he's
It's a
always
Sango
been.
Moroku situation.
It's very like, oh, she's cute. Oh, she got trauma. Like, and it's like, you know, it's like we're gonna move to the healing stage now. And I think you guys can do that step by step. And I also really love, which I think, like, I mean, there hasn't been an opportunity to talk or address or have the conversation, but I love Luffy's like handling of the situation. Is just like, dude, I don't care if you guys are in relationships. Like, I don't care about all that. But like, yo, she's joining our crew. Like, you guys can get married, but like she's hanging out with us. Like she's part of our crew. Like it's totally, I don't care if you guys get married, but like, yo, she's like, okay, yeah, she can be part of the crew. Like whatever, that's fine. Like then we'll have 2 chefs and that's cool. Like
We have a dessert chef, and then we have our main course chef.
it's like out of like the last one was Usopp, who chose to walk away from the crew. And like this is the second time this has happened where somebody chose to walk away. And it's like, you know, it's like it's interesting to see the scenario where it's like presenting Luffy with scenarios, right? Or it's like, how would Luffy react to this? And him reacting in this way is like so like fucking cool and healthy and like thanks Luffy. Like yeah, it's like the conversation hasn't come up yet, but it's like it's a safe space. Like if you want to date, like Luffy's cool with it, and like they're just gonna be part of the crew. And if like they're a weaker member of the crew, then we'll like protect them. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I like that. It's like, I don't know. It's there's a element of that like if Oda chooses to show more of like what they do in the future at the end of One Piece, like I would love to see more of that. Like if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, if they have a crew more than the current members of said crew, you know, like and Pudding, like if
The
more
Grand
people
Fleet.
not just
The
part
crew
of
and
Part of the
Pudding.
Grand Fleet.
yeah, but like not just to go like Grand Fleet, right? Like it's just like it more like on their ship mentality. Like if it's like more about the family, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I would love to see more
Family.
scenarios, you know. I like that. I don't know. I like it. It's a cool concept. I like it. I
Yeah.
like it. Did I said that? I like it. I like it.
There's a again there's so many Charlotte siblings that get introduced. It's still nice despite all of those characters to have somebody like Pudding, just not just because she directly interacts with a member of the Straw Hat crew in a very integral way to the plot of this arc, but I think she's memorable for a lot of other reasons, because like there's a lot of walls in the way of like the Sanji retrieval team, and there's just a lot. And despite all of that, we have these small moments with Charlotte and Sanji that can still be something of like, I'm rooting for them. Sorry, Al, what were you gonna say?
Pudding. Just we keep saying
Pudding.
Charlotte. like,
Please stop.
Pudding.
You guys are making
Oh my
me
God.
hungry. Please stop. I really do want
But
Pudding right
then
now.
we keep going back to the biggest problem with this is they keep referring to people as Charlotte X instead of
Yeah.
just call them by their name. Another
Yeah.
thing that we're not going to talk about, but you brought up quote members of the crew, and something that we saw was Jinbei's experience in trying to leave the Big Mom Pirates to join the Straw Hat crew to fulfill that
the fam.
promise.
Yeah.
And we know Jinbei is this like maybe not all powerful, but super powerful, strong, valued, like
He's a warlord.
just a solid dude, just in general, like not even just like status or
The
anything, but a
dude.
solid dude
The
with
dude.
a dude.
The dude. The dude.
The dude, and knowing Jinbei to like possess this station, both like kind of politically as a representative of Fishman Island, and having this protection of Big Mom questioned by Luffy in a previous arc. How did Jinbei's experience of being like, yo, I'm leaving, and Big Mom being like, I will literally kill you, but make sure that it's your decision that you die. Like how did that dichotomy of putting Jinbei up against Big Mom sort of like adjust your expectations of how dangerous this woman truly is?
Yeah, I mean, as far as like repeating patterns that we see in One Piece is whenever we come up against a big bad, they have like some kind of means of oppressing whatever realm they're in. And with Doflamingo, it was turning everybody into toys and having a weird like memory wipe thing where everybody forgot who they were. Here, she can take people's time.
Leave
Like-
her life.
She has a wheel, the fucking wheel of choices of what your punishment is to leave. And it's usually just an amount of years off of your life. And it can be anywhere from like 100 to like 2. And it's like, she literally just sucks the life out of you. And that's how she fuels all her own
Vibes.
homies.
I just had a thought, and I don't like it, and you guys aren't gonna like it either. But I'm gonna say it because I'm brave.
All right.
Because
I'm brave.
I'm so brave. I'm
Molly's
I'm
a
so
big brave dog.
I'm
Yo,
not
do you
scared.
guys think about? So she like steals like years of your life, right? Like, I mean, she creates the homies that way, but it also must in turn fuel her.
Yes.
Dude, do you think that's how she keeps like having so many kids? Like, do you think it's
Yes. Absolutely.
go straight to the
Yeah, 100%. Like she's how do we know how old she is?
old? I mean, she
Charlotte?
was
I keep saying Charlotte. I'm so sorry.
Lin
Lin.
Big
She was like
mother.
Man.
I want to
Large
say she
mother.
was older
Mummy?
than Whitebeard, right? Like I wanted.
She is 68. Almost nice.
All right. Oh,
68?
But she's not.
68.
I figured she'd be older than that.
What, like 1 year older?
Oh, okay. So Whitebeard was older
One?
than her. He died at 72.
Hmm.
Rip.
I mean,
Well, I mean, she's older than him now because he died a couple years ago.
No, if she's 68 and he died at 72, she got some years ahead.
she got a couple more to go.
Yeah.
My God, that was amazing. I'm trying to find a part of this arc that I don't know if it's happened yet or not.
It's
Which
the
is
thing. Okay, while you look at that, I'll talk
Yeah.
for a second. But like, it's the thing that it's like it's the reason why I'm like when Oda's like, here's the bad guy, and it's not just like here's the bad guy. It's like here are the reasons why you should like why they're a bad guy kind of thing. It's like not even that. It's like yeah, okay, you want to leave the crew, totally, that's your choice. Like to leave the crew, we'll leave it up to fate or whatever. And it's like it's that evil of like you can't blame me for your choice, even though it's like you should just be able to walk away. And it's like, no, we're gonna do this stupid thing that isn't necessary, and you owe me. And it's like that's not. It's like you're evil, you suck.
Well, and with the have we talked about the seduction forest? Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
That is what it's
it is
called, and I hate
indeed
it.
Called the Seduction Forest.
Wow.
Like that, it's thousands of trees and gumdrops and lollipops and flowers. It's literally just straight out of Alice in Wonderland, like 30s style animation almost. And she fuels it by collecting a tithe from all the citizens. Like she
Yeah.
just absorbs their life to feed her forest.
That's why Luffy ran through that forest, is because he's totally asexual, and so you could not be seduced in any way. The only way you could be seduced was food.
Thank you for reminding me. There's something very specific I want to talk about. Very hyper specific, and it's right after that.
Mhm.
that we get to that point. So we get to see Sanji's family, and they put some little handcuffs on Sanji after threatening Zeph, and he's just like, well, I can't let my dad die. And then he looks over to his biological father. He's like, you can die though. Which respect. Totally get that. One of the times I very much understand Sanji. And they're like on the way to Big Mom's thing, and finally, like, Luffy and Nami catch up.
Mhm.
They're there, and Luffy's just great, cool, dude. Your stupid letter was stupid. I don't know how to read anyway. It doesn't really matter. Whatever. Blah 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 blah. So let's go back. We're just gonna head back. Nami's here. We're just gonna go back. You, me, and Nami. We're gonna head back to the crew. They already went to Wano. It's not a big deal. So let's just go now. Just go now. And then they have that, like, quote unquote fight, duel, as Luffy calls it. And then Luffy's just like, I'm not eating until you come back, because you're the cook. You're the one who said you were going to be cooking food for us on our ship for our crew. I'm not going to eat anything. And it was just like, oh wow, that's a huge thing.
Yeah.
And then it starts to rain, and Nami's just like, it's raining. It's syrup. And then Luffy turns over and he goes, I'm not even letting syrup in. I'm not eating until Sanji comes back. It's like, dude, I love Luffy. I love him. What a great dude.
He
He better
big-brained
come back
so
and he
hard,
better
though.
bring snacks.
Yeah, but it's like he big-brained so hard though, because it's like, what could he actually threaten with, right? Like, it's like, what did he have over Sanji that he could use? And like, he's like, no, I'm not going to eat anything unless you make it and give it to me. Like that. It's like, all right, Luffy, I see you. Like, you thinking some stuff through. Like, you're
But
getting it.
Even then, though, from Luffy's perspective, it's a very personal, like one-on-one sort of a thing. I'm not going to eat anything unless you cook it. But then then zooming out, remembering us first meeting Sanji, there was somebody who, like, was a very dangerous individual and, like, threatened violence against the people on Baratier, and yet Sanji was like, I'm not going to let anybody go hungry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to let you go hungry. Here's a bunch of, like, scraps, like, don't worry about it. And so, like, Luffy, as is tradition, Luffy doesn't know what he's saying seemingly, but we do. And it is that much more impactful and that much more important. And even through those trials of getting through the forest. And do we want to talk about Brûlé?
Do we have to?
I don't.
And the mirror
want
world?
to, but
Do we
we
have to?
can.
I think the only
Context.
thing that we need to establish is there is this sort of endless mirror world that Charlotte Brûlé has seeming at least control over the entry and exit of, puts Carrot in danger, with which, you know, pisses everybody off.
Yes.
But
and Chobro, come on.
and Chobro,
Come on.
Um,
is
I hear
also
you.
there.
Chopper present, but present because he's a gift. But
Aw,
Aw,
that's
that's-
great. He's trapped in a horrible mirror dimension.
with a friend
With a friend. They're both trapped in a horrible mirror dimension.
together.
So many cool stories for his big.
So
bros,
my favorite
bro.
part about Brûlé, though, is that she's Bruja. Like, the whole
Yeah.
design
Yeah.
is that
Yes.
she's like it's like, oh, it's so leaned into it, and it's so good, and it's like, that's great. What a fun little, like, what a nod and a half. Anyway,
Mhm.
Brûlé and Perospero can just go sit in the corner and just please don't.
And like the problem with Charlotte, oh my god, I'm so sorry. I
No, you're not. You're doing it on purpose
I
now.
can't-
This
no,
is
I'm not.
Molly with saying the,
That's
the word.
That's the name of the episode is The Problem with Charlotte.
The problem with Charlotte. Or no, let's talk about Charlotte. Wait, I'm so sorry. But the problem with Brûlé, quote unquote, the problem is we know that she's going to be important because they essentially take her hostage so that they could use her powers for their gain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Charlotte is going to be a part of this story whether we
Oh
want
my
her to be or not.
Brûlé.
Damn it, I did it again. Oh my god. I am so sorry.
Oh, man.
I am truly.
I really want Mark to do the intro of whatever this is. Like we record the first, like, the title card stuff at
After.
the end,
Yeah.
obviously, because we come up with a
I
title.
can't stop calling people Charlotte. I'm so sorry.
I think
It's just the
that's what the
Smasher
title-
Pass. Every character is Charlotte.
This is.
God.
I want Mark to record this one. I know I've been doing it for every single episode, but I think this is the one time I'm just like, I want Mark to just say, I am so sorry. The way you
I am
say that is
so sorry.
so funny.
We'll figure something out. We'll make it work, but we got to keep moving. Brule is going to be a part of the story, whether we like it or not.
Hey,
There
he
it
did.
is.
And I have now brought up the wiki of all of the Charlotte children so
Smart
that I can
man.
see face and first name.
Nice.
And because Parasparrow is literally the first child, I have a feeling that we are going to be seeing him a lot.
Rancid vibes.
Rancid, I am not a fan. I'm not a fan of the laugh. I'm not a fan of the design. I'm not a fan of the giant tongue sticking out of the mouth when you have like
Oh,
a
that
lollipop
guy.
theme.
I don't
yeah,
like that guy.
yeah, you know, Charlotte. That one I meant to do.
Charlotte derogatory.
Yeah,
I
sure.
don't like that guy.
Charlotte
Um,
affectionate, Charlotte derogatory. Which that means to you? Spin the wheel.
God,
I
we
wonder
gotta do-
leave her
Years
life,
of your
everybody.
life.
How
gotta
many
do-
over life?
We gotta
What you
do a
got?
poll. We gotta do a poll. We gotta do a poll.
Of what?
Yeah, Molly,
do the
Molly,
poll.
we're gonna do a Tumblr poll where it's
Tumblr
just gonna be
sexy poll.
who is your favorite
Charlotte.
who's your favorite
It'll
Charlotte from
it'll
the
be
from the
affectionate,
whole.
a separate poll, and then one poll I'll be derogatory, and like who
Molly-
is the most derogatory and most affectionate?
Molly, all I was gonna say is, and the entire thing is, it doesn't have first names.
Oh,
It
no,
just-
it's
Yeah,
all
just Charlotte, Charlotte.
Oh my god!
What is the worst and best Charlotte? Pick your Charlotte, and it's just the name Charlotte over and over and over again.
It's just a hole.
It's just a whole
It's just a hole.
cake.
And
It's a
we're
partial
back.
whole cake. We're back.
We're back, everybody. I mean, we've kind of talked a lot about the new people and how it sort of affects Sanji. We've talked a little bit about Luffy. Does the beginning of this arc go any differently if we have any of the other crew that have gone ahead to Wano?
Zoro would be lost by now, but aside from that, I think it's more or less like we have a very, I don't know. I always think that's like Robin probably would have had a different plan, but like we're doing Nami's plan.
Dude, no. Robin would have been rendered immobile by seeing all of the disgusting homies and being like, they're so cute.
Kawaii.
Exactly.
Well, the thing is you say that, but there's a whole other section to
There's
this.
a hole?
There's a whole other section to this
Okay.
that had they brought Robin, I feel like this whole arc would
God.
arc would be different.
Molly, you started
because-
this.
I know.
The moment the moment we're starting talking about this stuff, like before we even like venture off, Robin's just like, I'm gonna stay here and I'm gonna study the poneglyph. I'm gonna study the poneglyph that's here. And then we get to Whole Cake, and it's suddenly just like, yeah, Big Mom's got a bunch of these. In fact, Big Mom's got some of the ones you need to get to Laugh Tale.
Yeah.
And it's like immediately Robin would have been like, I'll kill her myself.
Oh.
I'll do it. I'll
Oh,
I'll
shit.
strangle her right now. I'll do it. Those are my rocks. I'll kill the bitch. I'll do it. Like,
Damn.
because Robin cares about the crew. Robin cares about living her life, and Robin cares about the poneglyphs. And
That's it.
and that's Robin's character. And if you told Robin, hey Robin, there is a subsection of really rare poneglyphs that exist, and one of them is here, and you need it to get to the final island to be able to get to the One Piece, what do you think she'd do? I'll strangle Big Mom myself. You want to see the biggest clutch of
Yeah.
your life? I'll clutch the shit out of her.
At the same time, I think that also presents the
No, Chopper was the present because
true. I think that also creates a situation where that's what makes Brooke going to get the etchings much more dramatic because it's like, we
It's
need
true.
these. The person who understands how important this is and could probably power their way through isn't here.
Mhm.
And I've heard people call Brook the MVP of this arc because of everything that he did just in this top section.
Yes. Yeah.
And I would super agree with that.
I love it just because like we're coming out of oh god, I'm so
Go on.
I can't remember the actual name, but we're coming out of Furry Island. And
We're coming out of you get a
Zoe,
persona, you get a
oh my
persona,
God.
you get a persona.
I could feel my brain overheating trying to remember Zoe. We're coming out of Zoe, and there's still I talked about it in that episode, but there's a thing that I love. There's a moment where it's like the quote unquote the adults are like they can party all they want, but the adults will make sure that like will prevent them from coming in, and it'll be great.
Yeah.
And it was Brooke, Robin, and Frankie, and so I kind of love now that it's like, all right, you guys go to Wano, and like we'll take care of it over on this side, and like one of the most like yeah, we're getting Sanji, yeah, whatever, but like the end game goal, right? Like the thing that like
Whatever.
we need. I would almost argue this is normally Sanji's position that like Brooke has taken to get the, you know, like the trying to get the carving, the imprint.
Yeah,
of
and Brooke
the
is far
monoglyph.
more reliable than Sanji
I know,
too.
but it's
so
like think about it, like in all the other arcs, like Water 7, like he was already on the train, like he had, you know, like he thought ahead to like with the snails, like he had a plan, right? And it's like there's been so many other, like even in a movie, like the movie with the sicko boy with the
You
yellow
have to be more
jacket.
specific.
no,
No, the sicko boy. Yeah,
That-
sick boy.
Sick boy.
Um,
I know what
An
Molly.
end adventure.
Yes, like that one. Like even in that one,
Molly, I cherish your friendship very much. I just
guys, do you guys understand how it's hard to be me? Okay, if you guys
Molly,
can
I
understand-
not only do I understand it's hard to be you, I understand you.
I know. It's like, I'm trying to communicate. You have no idea what's going on in
speaking
here.
somehow the same language.
Yeah, it's like it's not sign language, but it's some kind of language. Like it's all just it's me moving my arms around, and you'd be like, "Oh, totally, yeah." But it's like
knowing not.
like I never want to give Sanji any credit, but I will give credit where credit is due. In many moments where we need a big brain moment, it tends to be this one-liner of Sanji thought something through, and it's like, oh, cool, that totally solves us from having a plot hole for this arc, right? It's like that's usually his role, and like Brooke filled it magnificently this time. I said roll. Did I say roll? I said roll. I thought I said hole. For
Hole?
A second. That was no.
Roll.
I got
Whole
mad.
roll.
Anyway, I just shout out to Brooke. I actually really love.
Shout out to Brooke. Shout out to
his-
Brooke's holes.
Brooke doesn't. Well, I was gonna say he doesn't, but he's a skeleton.
Brooke's got a
so I
lot
guess-
of
You know.
holes. He's a
Listen,
skeleton.
yeah.
He's full
He's-
of them.
he's
It's the one
mostly
thing he
holes.
has. He
Mhm.
doesn't have a heart or lungs or skin, but he sure has a lot of holes.
There's a
I don't
whole lot
like
of
that
those
I'm
things
talking
are,
about
though.
this. Molly, can you say something about something else?
Yeah.
Goal oriented. It's good to have goal oriented members of the team.
Hole oriented part of damn it. We're back.
Technically, he's a person. Anyway,
Oh god.
Ridiculous. I started this. I can't even be mad. I started this.
so how do we want to wrap this episode up? How do we want to sort of like final thoughts this beginning thing? How do we want to set up for the next little bit
Charlotte's
of
hole.
No.
again?
No.
You have to be more specific. There's
You've heard
80
of
of them.
Charlotte's Web. Now get ready for it.
Is that the name of the episode?
Do I have to say it?
So anyway, there is something I do want to like since we're getting to a thing. We basically
Sure.
go through this whole journey where they actually meet Pudding first. They meet Pudding first. They become friends with her, and they're just like, okay, let's hash this out a little bit. And they actually go through things, and Luffy does that. Luffy and Sanji both separately meet Pudding beforehand, and then yada yada. We get to a point where like Luffy and Nami end up captured, and Sanji has bartered for basically their lives. It's basically like, I'll go through with it, but you can't kill them and they can just go. And Big Mom's just like, I don't care. That's fine. You're doing exactly what I want you to do. Then no skin off my teeth, because skin doesn't grow on teeth. So it's not a really big deal. But I'm gonna have a conversation with them. And so Luffy has a whole conversation with Big Mom and through the transponder signal. And Luffy's just like, no, this is, again, Luffy's wholehearted, steadfast dedication to the crew comes to this whole fruition with him and Nami just chained up in prison. And they're just like,
Prison
hey,
library.
hey, I mean, yeah, for some people, library is a prison. For others, it's an escape. But anyway, a little bit of poetry for everybody. Anyway, but we get to see Pudding come back and be just like, hey, Sanji proposed. And it's just like, this is great and everything, but there's something that feels wrong about this. So I'm not gonna marry him. And then she whispers something to Luffy, and then she says goodbye. And that's like the end of that chapter. And it's like, first of all, again, with the pacing of One Piece, it keeps you just, it's like if because I'm still reading, but like I feel like the one thing the anime does not do the manga justice is, and next time on One Piece, we're going to tell you the exact next 10 minutes of One Piece that you're going to see next time on One Piece. Also, Robin's going to be joining. It's like, crap. Thanks for the spoilers.
Never let it go.
One Piece. Never let it go.
Never let it
Never
go.
let it go. But
that guy is the one. You gotta watch out for that guy. That guy spoils everything.
The narrator, he knows everything. That dude knows it all. Great voice, knows everything. I wonder if he knows what the One Piece is.
Oh my god.
Anyway.
Spill those beans.
But like it's such a great, like, and again, it's one of those like shock panels where Luffy's just like in a frenzy, like wait, and it's like an end, and it's like, not only is that the end of the chapter, but that's the end of that volume.
Yeah.
So talk about one great cliffhanger stuff. Like, One Piece is great at like keeping you hooked. And I mean, again, I've only been in the One Piece etc. thing for what, 2 years now?
Oh god.
Hooray.
It's only been 2 years.
What a privilege.
And it feels like it's been a part of a lot more of my life than it actually has. Maybe it's because we do a podcast about it.
But also, imagine how we feel.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. Is like, now I can only imagine the gravity of a lot of these feelings for people who are listening, who've been watching One Piece or reading One Piece for a long time, and all of you. How did y'all feel when you got to Whole Cake Island and Sanji got an entire arc? Unfortunately,
I don't like how I said whole.
To reiterate on a theme, Molly doesn't like how anyone says whole.
That's fair.
You
Go ahead.
first, please.
Okay.
You're the captain.
I'll make it quick. It's like, at this point of the manga, I mean, again, you're catching up to like current day. So like this arc had been going on since I moved to LA. Like, it's like my 7th or 8th year this year. And so like I distinctly remember in my last apartment reading this, and these like chapters, like these arcs up until a certain point, like I had been like, I'll read what I'm, like where I last left off, and it's been like half a year. Okay, I got to like read like 20 in a row. All right, I'm gonna sit on this for another couple of times and come back, and like I basically would reread One Piece. I mean, I reread One Piece like every year, but I would like wait to have like a chunk to read because I was up to date. You know what I mean? So I would like wait half a year, catch up, and then like be like, wait, isn't that from? All right, I'll reread really quick and like reread the entire manga to be like, oh, that's where that reference. I got this guy, like like on and off for like the last like 8 years, and until like we started doing the podcast, basically, where now like legally I have to like read the chapters every week, so like nothing gets spoiled, and like we're all up to date on stuff, but like I want to say when that happened, like, microphone drop with Pudding, I had the next chapter to read after that, or the next couple chapters or whatever. But I was like, I don't know. There was something about Pudding where I was like, it's like a lot of this setup in the beginning is very like, this is like, it's not perfect, but it's a little too good to be true kind of scenario.
Molly?
Convenient.
Would you say that it's off-putting?
Yeah, I would actually though. Like, yeah, actually.
That's what I figured. That was what was going through my head. So yeah.
Okay.
It's like, and then they set up, right? They set up in the very first part of this arc of who quote unquote the bad guys are, which is Sanji's family. But it's not like just because Pudding's been nice, it doesn't mean like I trust her. You know what I mean? And so like having that like microphone drop was almost like, oh, thank God the other shoe dropped. Like I don't know what she said, but like it's very much of like when you get the vibes of somebody and everybody loves them, but you're like, I don't think this is a good person. And then like finding out later they weren't a good person and be like, I know it. It's like in IRL where it's like it kind of validates you. You're like, I'm not a crazy bitch. Like they are actually an asshole. Like it's like not knowing like what Pudding said, but it's like finally making a move to be like, okay, we for sure don't have the full story. Like just having that motivation of like, it's almost like a relief. And then like also the fact that like whatever that is and whatever the reasons are have now been exposed to Luffy. And it's like, it's one thing for us to know as an audience. It's another thing for the characters to find out. And so it's just like, Luffy, I've been telling you the whole time. Like I told you. I told you something wasn't right here. You know, it's like very Nami in that regard, where it's just like idiot. Like I told, like why what are we doing here? Like you're just doing silly stuff. But yeah,
well, it's like Luffy's willpower. As soon as it has a direction to go, he's gonna like if his crew's in danger, he's going to go all out to make sure that he can get them out of danger. And
don't look left or right. Just go straight. Just go straight ahead. What were you gonna say, Mark?
Oh well, just like similarly, I hadn't come back to like week to week One Piece yet, and I came back probably about halfway through Whole Cake Island. But in and I think I came back after this moment. I'm pretty sure, but I liked how Oda was playing with multiple sort of like multiple versions of the like star-crossed lovers story, in the sense of it started with an arranged marriage. And you know, in familiar with these arranged marriage stories, they both are like, well, I want to marry for love, and they both sort of go their separate ways heroically. But then when they start to make that connection, it's like, okay, well, maybe we are doing a star-crossed lovers thing, and then we play with that as the arc goes on. And I thought that Pudding as a catalyst character, very interesting. And this moment in particular is very much could be whatever. Could have been a thing like Pudding could say something that only Luffy would understand, or she could say something that is in direct opposition to everything that Luffy is hold dear. We don't know. Oda is an art at like looking ahead and being like, when do I have a 2-week break? That's when I'll put this story beat.
Yeah.
And still does it to this day. He never does a setup chapter before a 2-week break or a multiple week break.
Yeah.
And he is both masterful and a jerk for that. But I really like where we are in terms of us talking about it right here. A lot of intrigue surrounding Pudding. But just like real life.
Yeah, that's true.
Pudding.
Yes, intriguing Pudding.
A snack pack, you say?
Now you're telling me that there's a snack pack and a snack that smiles back. Do they
they're not the
combine powers?
No, that's icky.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
It's also knowing
They have chocolate goldfish. They're good.
Yeah, but not chocolate cheddar goldfish.
Yeah, but chocolate and cheese go good together. Look it up.
Molly, please take us away from this place.
All right, I was just gonna say, like, listen, Remy from Ratatouille would never steer us wrong. Anyway,
so I would say, do we have any final thoughts about this first part of?
Yeah. Sorry, I did have a thought
Please.
It's just like knowing. I mean, because this arc is finished, and we've told Caden how many chapters it is. It's like knowing we're quote unquote halfway through, like, and that is like dropped. It's like it checks out, right? It's not like we were gonna like. It's not like they were about to leave or something like that. Like it's adding like you thought you had all the information. Guess what? You don't.
Guess
And
what?
it
You
just-
don't, but you still have a lot of it.
It's the next hook. It's the next hook for the rest of
It's
it.
true.
And it was a good hook. And it's you know, it's as surprising as it is. It's also kind of like, well, if you look at the math, like one was due.
It's an old code, but it checks out.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts? Anybody else?
I mean, I don't think we talked about Peckham's.
Oh, I love
But-
them.
No, but at the
We
same,
can-
I think there's more to talk about for Pecoms moving on.
Pecans.
Peckham's,
Peckhams,
Pecoms.
Pecans? However
Yeah,
you pronounce it.
pecans.
Charlotte Pecan.
Coupons?
Oh, wait, no, that's praline. Never mind.
Yeah, it's like I feel like it's like the last thing I feel like I'd want to say is like most of Charlotte's kids have really cool powers, but I think it's gonna be a bigger conversation for the next episode.
I agree.
And
Two
with that,
Charlotte's a Charlotte and a Charlotte place.
my Charlotte, and me. With that, we're gonna wrap up here. We'll be back soon with part two of for
Question
Whole
mark?
Cake Island. Yeah, this party's going till question marks. But before we go,
Part 2 of Cake.
ooh, I want cake. Hey, everybody, so that I can go and get cake. Let's talk about where everybody can find you online. Caden, let's start with you.
You can find me on Tumblr and Twitch and Instagram, and that's Caden Jensen, KDINJENZEN. You can also find me on TikTok, which is REAL Caden Jensen. You can also find me on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel to upload my VODs for all of the stuff, and that is Winter Werewolf VTuber on YouTube, and you can find me there too. I just posted a video where my chat made me play Fortnite, and guess what? I won.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Nice.
Perfect record.
yeah,
Victory
perfect
Royale.
record, and I'm
Retire.
retired. I retired.
Yeah, that's what
I had never played Fortnite before. Played Fortnite, won. All right, cool, good, done.
That's
One and
quite
done.
enough, thank you.
Al, how about you? Where can the folks find you?
You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, at Al McClellan Jr. That's ALMCCLELLANDJR. Good luck.
Good luck. It's good to hear. Good luck again.
I miss good luck.
You can find me on across social media at Mark B. Donica. If you like theme parks, I do a podcast with my wife called the Party of Two Podcast on everywhere at Party of Two Pod. We got to ride the new Tron coaster early. We talked about that recently. God,
So
that was
cool.
it was so good.
Cool.
So hear all about that and other stuff. If you're interested in, we don't just talk about Disney. We talk about other stuff too. We make it and we make sure to not just talk about Disney stuff. So go ahead over there at Party of Two Pod. Hey, Captain, how about you?
You can find me on Twitter at Teflood, TEH
Tee-hee.
FLOD, damn it. And mostly on Tumblr, Molly Flood, Molly K Flood, depending on if you're looking out for art or memes. And we have a Yayo Talk Show Tumblr, which I may or may not have spent this episode retweeting some or like reblogging. Some
Is that
stuff,
why you
but-
filled up our Discord with memes? Is because you were posting them on
No.
Tumblr and then
No.
Oh, we've also been putting vertical videos of our streams on our YouTube channel. So if you
Charlotte
find-
pudding. We've been Charlotte putting them up.
Oh god! Thank you for the correction.
Wow.
We've been charlotting our vertical videos up on YouTube. Yayo Talk Show on YouTube. That's also where we put our Twitch streams and other fun random stuff that we may do. So go check us out there. I'm sorry, Molly, interrupted you.
No, that was it. That was. I mean, I was like, why did it get quiet? That was the end of. This is the end of the episode. We did it.
That's the end of the episode.
This is it.
Yo!
I tuned out at the pudding pun. I was like, all right, let's take it home. Let's take it home, Mark. Let's take it home.
So, Mark, did you want to do the episode intro?
Well, we
Well,
didn't do
going
the full
along
exit
with
yet,
how
yeah.
most arcs and sagas have ended, now
It wasn't
that
me
you've listened to the
this time.
episode,
I
you've
didn't
joined
do
our
it.
crew. With that comes the responsibility of telling your friends, leaving a comment, following us all over social media at Yayo Talk Show, and letting Caden watch the show in one piece. So come aboard, and we'll see you next time. And this is the actual end of the episode on Yayo Talk Show.
Talking about One Piece.